Okay, so here we are going to discuss the most important factors for good performance. We already touched on them a little bit, but we'll recap them, go into them a little bit more. So what we do know is that the body needs three things for good performance, right? You need to sleep, you need to eat correctly, and you need to train properly. Okay, so when we're looking at eating and sleeping, that's the anabolic phase. So that's the building portion. A lot of times this goes overlooked. Everyone trains, and forgets the other 2/3, right? The things that really help your body build. So number one, sleeping. Everyone's a little bit different on this, but typically, like most of us, aren't getting enough sleep when it comes to building up the body, right? Especially like if you're like a college athlete, right? You're probably doing a bunch of stuff, probably got a bunch of homework. Maybe have a job on top of that, plus all your training hours, right? Like what's the one thing that you give up? Like, I got to set the alarm clock, right? And not wake up naturally. So sleeping is pretty important. Obviously the eating, which is what we're talking about here, is making sure that you're replenishing those glycogen stores and understanding like what you need in terms of your diet to meet all your nutritional needs, and making sure that those glycogen stores are fully locked and loaded so that you can go into the catabolic phase. And that's the anabolic phase, right? The building phase. And also that we could go to the catabolic phase, or the breaking down, right? The exercise, the training, like doing all the hard stuff, right? Like if I'm not sleeping and recovering enough, and if I'm not eating and getting the proper nutrition in, then my training is going to suffer. And if I can't train as hard, then I'm not going to be able to get the gains that I want, right? Like all these things are cyclical in how they work. So they're all interrelated. So don't just think it's training all the time. It's certainly the other two factors as well. And we've been talking about the importance of glycogen with your performance.